Greetings everybody and welcome back to Nelson Mandela Bay. The heart of the Eastern Cape is where we're at for the P750 Inflatable World Championships held at Kings Beach. In case you missed the first program, let's recap to see exactly what happened. There were 3 days of surf action for all three classes, standard, blueprint and modified. The action got underway in the standard class, lots of side-by-side racing with a few surprises in the making on the surf water. A lot of the Johannesburg riders or inland riders showing the coastal boys just how it's done. It was a big showing for Dodds and Freestone, putting the SA champ Carl Colby under some severe pressure in a few of the heats. But as far as the front runners were concerned, it was Gordon Butler and Werner Miller and the Alcazar boat being chased hard by Foster and Talyard in Wild Africa Cream. In the Access Digital subscriber line blueprint class, the Swedes Shogwood and Shogra, Mr. Dynamite, took the challenge head on and led all the way. But a few critical mistakes in the latter part of the surf racing saw him lose some serious points. It allowed some of the local riders to come to the fore. Conti Creek Jacques Turner showed that he had the pace to put the ears on the New Zealanders. At the front of the surf leading pack, it was Luty and Collins, Gilbert Marketing leading Van Baal and Smith in the Ivor Smith electrical boat. Luty and Collins would take a decisive win in the surf series. In the City Lodge modified class, the MTT Projects boat of Mike Hutting and Candice Pretorius were one of the top three boats competing for honours, as was Barry Marks and Robert Gower. Some engine trouble saw them sitting out of the first few rounds, but they were back, chasing hard to catch up with Ludovic van Hastie and Donadio, the current modified SA champion. But the man who had the pace, Aqua Dams, Lionel Ball and Bongani Ndesi, taking a great win in the surf series of the modified class. Now we move to the Flatwater racing. It's circuit racing for the next 3 days at the North End Lake, and some of the Flatwater specialist riders have got points to prove over their surf riding compatriots. PH Plantire's Jacques Mathieu had no idea what to expect.
Ik heb geen idee nie. Dit kan enige iets kan gebeur. Ek was nog nooit hier gewees nie. Ek weet nie hoe my proppe verskil teenoor ander mense se nie, hoe my spoed verskil nie. Maar so maar vir die beste en soos hy sê die longhol kom nog wat my water is, hopelik rowwe water. En ja, al my moed is op daai laaste dag.
In the blueprint class in the surf racing, Clutie and Collins show that they clearly had the pace, but what would happen on the flat water?
Obviously in the surf we've got the elements that play a part as well, and lucky for us we did have a clear run with in terms of the waves and what have you, but yeah, starting anew from scratch again now. Going to be a lot tighter than the surf was, and basically just trying to tally up as many points as we can is going to be the secret here.
In the modified class, Mike Hutting was in third place overall, but flat water is not his favourite pastime.
Flatwater is not my favourite, like we said before, but I'm pretty confident that I'll do pretty well here. Unfortunately, I lost my favourite prop yesterday in the water. I didn't tighten the nut, but I've got a replacement prop which I'm pretty confident will do very well. Absolutely, we have to push as hard as we can because each discipline carries the same weight. So like you say, anything can happen, and hopefully we'll do very well and make up some points.
Let's recap those overall positions of the leaders after the surf racing series. Lionel Ball and Mongani and Ndesi lead the City Lodge modified class. Access Blueprints class being led by Clutie and Collins, while South Management Consultant standard class, it was Gordon Butler and Werner Miller at the front. Before we head into 3 days of racing action, we spoke to UIM Commissioner Phil Stacey.
This type of racing is the first time I've seen it as a UIM Commissioner, and I've seen lots of races, including the 24-hour race in St. Petersburg, which use rubber ducks like this. And we've had 3 days of surf racing in Port Elizabeth, and they tell me the surf is not very good, but it's fantastic as far as I'm concerned. And the drivers are amazing, and it's quite a spectacle, you know, and I don't think it's had the publicity as far as the UIM is concerned, and I'm sure it will from now on.
We get on the way with the South Management Standard class, and it's a great pleasure to welcome multiple SA champ Lionel Ball.
Hi there, William.
Lionel will be on Flatwater here, 3 days of circuit racing. It's going to be fast, it's going to be furious, and lots of competition in the standard class. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, a lot of high speed. The conditions are perfect. Consistency is what's going to be the name of the game on this in this circuit.
Obviously, being Flatwater, prop choice is even more critical.
Very critical, and also having spent time before the racing, you know, commenced to see what your props do at certain heights, you know, and what distances, at what speed you cover. It's just a big technical game.
One thing is for sure, it's going to be close quarter racing in the standard class. It's Foster and Talyard leading the way on the first lap, then it's Alcazar, then it's Dodds and Freestone, and looks like Colby and Patterson in there as well on the Conti Creek boat. When we spoke to Butler in the surf racing, he said he's got something special in the bag for this course. He might just be the man.
Most definitely, I think he's going to set the benchmark here, and he's going to be the guy to watch. Kyle is also, it's his hometown, and you know, he's always fast on this place.
These guys haven't had much time to set up on the Flatwater. Jacques Mathieu, Carlo Watkins, entire branded Caesar, a boat that does very well on the Agulhas, Atlantic, etc. Surf racing, but not built for Flatwater.
Yes, Caesar boats established on the Trans-Agulhas, very well built boats, but this is not the kind of conditions that they would like.
On board there with Colby and Patterson, but the win will go to Foster and Talyard. Wild Africa Cream, these are the guys that are currently leading the Standard Class Championship in South Africa in the SA Champ standings. Butler and Miller taking second, while Colby and Patterson grab a third place. As we go into the second heat, and once again, it's Dodds and Freestone taking charge at the front.
Yes, Dodds is always very good. Also hometown advantage for him. Used to these conditions, he's also a boat to watch.
I think they might just come to the fore as this race progresses. But on the right-hand side, it's Steyn and Butler flying along from Gauteng.
This is their speciality, and they're definitely going to give the guys from the coast a run for their money.
So the Century electrical boat of Steyn and Butler, a flyer there, of course, that's Gordon Butler's brother as a co-driver on that boat. But a big surprise for Caprica, Amaral and Reela staying in touch with the leaders.
Yes, Brendan has been putting in a lot of time, and the results are there to see.
Michael John Dodds and Carl Schroeder here. This is the Hosmed sponsored boat, a boat that picked up his sponsorship right here at the World Championships, courtesy of Hosmed. So I think John Dodd's very happy with that one. Vicardi Petroleum, Simon Fort and Trevor Townsend, fourth place for them at the moment. As we watch the field going down past that back line, heading towards the front turn. Another boat that's not on the pace. This is Peter Smith and Ferdy Schenk from PSPG. They're from Cape Town as well, and just not on the pace.
Yes, also one of the guys coming to the event with a new boat, not setting it up properly, not spending enough time in the boat.
But it was Steyn and Butler who took the win. Amaral and Reeders in second place, while Dodds and Freestone taking a well-deserved third. As we move into the next heat, this is going to be Heat 2A, and from the line it was Butler and Miller, and they had a point to prove. They took the lead at the front.
He's been just taken over. He had a good grid position to start off with, and you can see the result there.
But Colby and Patterson not letting Butler and Miller get away. You can see the Conti boat just keeping in touch with them there as we go on board with them. They've got to do 9 laps of the circuit, and of course out of those 9 laps, 2 have got to be equalizers. Lionel always wanted to know, why is there an equalizer lap, and actually how does it affect the running of the race?
When you're sitting on the grid, the last 6 boats on the grid are always at a disadvantage, so there's a longer leg brought into this course to try and equalize the race itself, so everybody has a fair opportunity.
So it just makes it a bit more fair on everyone, and makes racing a lot tighter and more competitive.
Yes, and it can be quite troublesome. If you don't take it at the right time, you could actually lose positions, although you're leading the race.
So you actually want to take it in clear water?
The secret of the equalizer is always to keep clear water ahead of your boat.
South Management Consultants Standard Class Final. As we head off the line, you can see the boys in control there in midfield. It looks like Dodds and Freestone getting a good start as well. Watch out for Butler and Miller. Then Conti Creets in there as well on the left-hand side there. It's Forster and Talyard, but Colby taking a bit of a shortcut there and going across the wake with the boat in front of him.
Yes, he's been shut down and he's popped out the back, and he's now trying to take shortcut across the back of the wake.
Going around that corner, it's Butler and Miller. Alcazar leading the way. Then it looks like it's Steyn in the Century electrical boat, the only one being able to match Butler's pace at the moment, and I must say Butler is flying.
He's definitely going to be hard to catch today.
Lionel, how important is the setup of the height of the boat on Flatwater racing?
When you're riding freshwater, what they're riding on here, it's critical. You've got to try and get optimum height and to get optimum RPM. But at the same time, you've got to combine those two things with maximum drive, which is a very difficult thing to do.
So not all as easy as it may seem. Forster and Talyard here, the Wild African Cream boat chasing down PSPG, Smith and Shank, currently in 4th place, Forster and Talyard. And 2 guys that haven't done too well in the surf, but they really picked up the pace on the Flatwater. Wilhelm Steyn, Donovan Butler and the Century electrical boat.
Yes, they don't come to the coast very often, so you can see, that this is their speciality, and now they're showing it.
I think the Flatwater racing is really going to turn things around and can have some unexpected results as Butler and Miller come through the Alcazar Thundercat, taking another win in this heat. Butler and Miller first place, Steyn and Butler second, with Colby and Patterson in 3rd place. So in case you're wondering, of course, it is Gordon Butler's brother that drives on board with Wilhelm Steyn on that Century electrical boat. Into the first heat of the Access Digital Subscriber Line Blueprint class we go. It's Gilbert Marketing's Lucian Collins showing the way off the line.
They showed a lot of pace in the surf. I'm sure that they will be running in the top 3.
Quite amazing looking at the front runners there. Looks like it's the chalk-air boat of Schonknacht and Wiggle being chased hard by Jan van Tonde and Dane Janney, and the Thatcher's boat in there as well. But I must say Zane showing a lot of speed here.
Yes, but Zane has been putting in quite a bit of work. I've been assisting him with his motor and advice when when he wanted to. And you can see, the result of that.
Last deck boat coming through there, Hazelhurst and Liebenberg off the pace. They've been struggling the entire World Champs. This is Gilbert Marketing's Cruty and Collins from East London, really flying along there in third place at the moment. They wouldn't be able to catch the second place team though, but Van Tonder and Janian taking the win. Schonknecht and Wiggle Chalk Air second place, and Cruty and Collins grabbing a third. So on to Heat 1B we go. This time around we're going to see Sjogren and Sjogren in the action as well as we go on board with the Swedes. He's getting really, look at that throttle control. He's on it right away, but it's a bit slow off the line there, Lionel. Looks like Van Baarden on the left-hand side just outrunning him a bit.
Yes, the Swede is swinging a bigger prop, which takes longer to wind up, and I'm sure you're going to see him come through shortly.
Van Baarden flying off the line there, but here comes the Swede. He's got the top in pace. Lionel, does a prop really make that much difference on the flat water?
Yes, it definitely does. If you take an average prop or to use a 15 Quicksilver, on a blueprint class like this, the average speed is about 90 k's an hour. If you go to an 18, you can multiply you add another 6 k's to your top end speed, which makes a huge difference.
There were rumors as well that he was running titanium props, which would just give him that extra edge.
Yes, obviously the loss of weight, titanium would give him a lot of strength. With the result, you could have super thin blades. Yes, technology just makes a huge difference today.
It was a big battle at the front, but the Swede took the win. Mr. Dynamite, Sjogren and Sjogren taking the win over, once again, Turner and Van Niekerk really coming up on the Conti boat. And Van Baarden and Smith taking third place.
Jacques is always fast on the flat water, and he's also going to give the guys a run for their money here.
Into Heat 2A we go. This time round it's Schonknecht and Wiggle, the chalk air boat, getting a jump on Van Tonder and Janian in the Thatcher's boat. It might just be a repeat of what we saw in Heat 1, the Thatcher's boat and the chalk air boat going side by side. New Zealand Aquarius, Greg Powell and Sarah Barrell, not on the pace the way they'd like to be. They're kind of lacking a little bit of speed.
Yes, but Greg didn't have a good grid position in the first heat. He came, I think, fourth, and now he's up into third.
This time round the win goes to Schonknecht and Wiggle, turning the cards on Van Tonder and Janian in the Thatcher's boat, while Cruty and Collins taking third. And the New Zealanders having to settle for fourth place as we head into the second heat for the B class, or the B group, as they head off the line, and Van Baarden getting the whole shot and having the pace off the line.
Yes, getting a prop that's got whole shot is fine, but depends on the distance that you've got to cover before the boats have to go into one pack. And if you don't make it to that buoy in time, he's just going to come past you.
The Ivor Smith electrical duo of Van Baarden and Smith trying really hard to close the gap down to the Swede. They just didn't have the pace though. This is Basson and Creel, Barte Industrials Garmin, and currently running in fourth place with that boat. Been not having a good time out on the flat water. But another great win going to Sjogren and Sjogren. Mr. Dynamite taking the win. Van Baarden and Smith in second place, while Turner and Van Niekerk, they're in there with the Conti boat, being really, really consistent. This is the final of the Access Blueprint class, getting off the line for day one. Look at that. Van Baarden once again gets the whole shot. On the left-hand side is the yellow boat of chalk air in there as well. Artek Gradic on the outside coming through. Lead in there as well, but it's once again the Swede. Just a little bit off the pace in the center there. Give him some time to wind up that prop as we watch Jacques Turner bouncing through in the Conti boat there. Wants to get some clear water in front of him as he heads off. And once again, watching the Swede go around that front, boy, he is just so fast, Lionel. How does he get this pace?
Hours and hours in the boat, setting up and combining the whole thing into one good package.
And when it comes to the actual setup of the boat, does your ride height play an important role? In other words, how high or how deep the prop is in the water?
Yes, surface racing, which is what basically this is. You've got to have one blade with a prop in the water at any given time.
Van Baarden and Smith coming through. You can see the boat is set up really, really well. They've got a great whole shot run, but they just don't have the top end pace to the Swede as they're coming around the field now for the last couple of laps of the Access Blueprint class finals on day one. You can see the field spread out far and wide on this lap. Coming through Gleed and Vyers, boat number 44. That's the PSPG boat down from the Western Cape, and they're doing a little bit better here. But these guys still on a run. They really have got the pace.
Yes, he's definitely come here with a big stick, and he's really beating the boys.
Catching the boats as they come around the dogleg. This is Schonknecht and Wiggle, the chalk air boat being chased hard by Turner and Van Niekerk. And Van Niekerk really has that boat set up really well.
Yeah, there are very few people that are faster than what Jacques is on the flat water. Like I said, he comes from inland, and they spend a lot of time. That's all they do.
On board of the Swede as he takes his third consecutive win of the day. Sjogren taking it from Van Baarden and Smith, while Glee and Vyers in third place. Good finish for them. Time for another one of our driver profiles, and this time round we have a look at the guys down from the Western Cape. It's a turn of Barte Industrial, Stein Basson and Jan Creel, as they tell us more about their team.
As a young boy, we started seeing the Transagala passing at Clamrock. The sport always fascinated me because of the roughness of it, and it looked like it's enjoyable. And I met one guy 4 years ago. He started racing, and in the modified class, and first asked me to play cricket for him. And afterwards we started racing, and 2 or 3 races later, I decided to buy my own rig, and I got Jan involved with me, and ever since it's been history. Still, to my opinion, Jan is the best co-pilot in the world. He's been a friend of me for 5-6 years. Jan is probably the fittest guy on the circuit. He's the best working in the boat. We feel each other without saying any words. I'm still sticking to what I'm saying. He's the best in the world. P is probably one of the best settings for the World Championship. We've got nice beaches. We've got North End Lake here, close to shore. Unfortunately, the weather has been too kind to us. We would prefer bad weather, making racing a bit more tougher. But South Africa is probably one of the best places to have a World Championship, and we've been quite pleased with the results so far.
We'll be catching up with some more teams later on in the program. For now, though, we're back at the North End Lake for final racing of day one. It's going to be the City Lodge modified class. Some great contests expected in this class. 3 or 4 boats really on the pace that can win this one, but all eyes on Greg Upton and Upton Knox in the Sharwood Super Quick boats.
Yes, this is Greg's hometown. This is where he practices, this is where he puts in his time.
But trouble from the word go for Donadio's Lodewijks and Van Heijsten. It could be gearbox. They've been suffering with some gearbox issues throughout the season.
Yeah, the high RPM on surface racing, it takes a big toll on gearboxes.
Another local crew coming through. This is Gerald Williams and Nick DeBell, the Seatronics boat, running midfield at the moment. He's in 4th place and holding strong there is Williams. But the win in the first heat of the modified class would be going to Upton and Knox in the Sharwood Super Quick boat. He's on a flyer.
Yeah, no, Greg's showing tremendous pace.
I think the fact that he builds his own motors, it's local ground, he knows the water, it obviously makes a big difference.
Yeah, Greg built 3 motors for the World Championship, and you can see he's put in a lot of work with the pace that you see there.
Into Heat 1B we go. Basil Farrett off the line with a good start. Michael Hutting and Candice Pretorius on a flyer as well. That's Roy Ball in there. But yourselves in the Aquadam boat really performing well. Bugatti and Dacey just doing his job so well.
Yeah, we put in a lot of time and effort. We spent 6 months training for this event, and it was well worth it.
Tian Vermeulen and Jaco Kortze coming through the top mate boat, currently running midfield in 6th place, but he's been complaining about stomach cramps, and clearly not the usual Tian Vermeulen we see on the water.
Generally, Tian is off the pace. He was in the surface off the pace as well as the Flatwater. I just don't know what's actually wrong there.
What a great win for you guys in the Aquadam boat. Hutting and Pretorius in 2nd place. Great to start the heat with a win.
Yeah, it's always good to have a win in your first heat. It just settles you down, and you can look forward to the rest.
Back into the action we go. This is Heat 2A. Upton and Knox once again with a whole shot off the line. And Gerald Williams in the Seatronic boat there, also not doing too badly. See Donadio at the back end there. He's back in the action as well. I think looks like he's actually sorted out those gearbox problems that he's had. Donadio really, really fast and on the pace.
He definitely has the pace. He's just had a bit of bad luck, on certain occasions.
Murray Elliott and Daryl Bretsky in the Extreme Inflatables boat. They hail from Sinsa down in the Eastern Cape, and one of the only Extreme Inflatables racing. Top speeds there, just on 110 kilometers per hour as we clock Thatch Africa going through with a Garmin speed gun. Johan Lodewijks was pushing really hard though. He's in 2nd place, just behind Upton and Knox. They're taking the last lap, but he just didn't have enough to close the gap down to the Port Elizabeth duo, taking their 2nd win in their heat. So the final lies ahead. Upton and Knox in 1st place, 2nd for Lodewijks and Van Heijsten, while Jones and Cornelius in the Thatch Africa boat grabbing 3rd. Time for Heat 2B, and from the word go, there's going to be a ding-dong battle between yourself and Mike Hutton.
Yes, we're both on the edge there, as you can see, and I've got the inside line.
Hutting's got the paces. You guys go side by side down that back line, and Hutting crosses crosses your wake. Why would one cross the wake there?
To stay in the clear water. As soon as your prop goes into white water, you start losing traction.
Looks like terminal trouble as well for Roy Ball and Steph Olivier in the PSPG boat. Not been doing too well, as Barry Moss also been suffering with intermittent engine trouble in the Century Electrical outfit.
Yeah, when you have guys like me and Mike going at the pace, and Greg at the pace that we do, Barry to come from inland and suddenly just to compete, at this pace with us, it's very difficult.
But I mean, he is a good driver, riding inland 2nd in the modifieds last year in the championship.
Definitely is, a good driver, and it's horses for courses, I suppose.
But a big win for Hutting and Pretorius. Ball and Desi taking 2nd place. When we come back after the break, we'll pick up all the action from the finals in the modified class on day 1. And we look at the action from days 2 and 3.
It's another sporting feast on your World of Champions.
Welcome back to the North End Lake, Nelson Mandela Bay, Port Elizabeth. We're into the finals of the City Lodge Modifieds for day one circuit racing. 4 top boats in the water, your Lionel. This can go anyway.
Definitely, it's top guys fighting hard against each other to win, and you're always going to get high speeds with that.
Challenging side by side down to that bottom buoy. This is high speed action. The final of the City Lodge Modifieds. The Garmin speed gun there, clocking the guys just at 110 kilometers per hour as they go around the back line. How important is it to get pole position? Does it benefit you?
It's a huge advantage on the Flatwater. It allows you to accelerate out of the corners much quicker. It helps you with your whole shot, acceleration up to the first buoy. Yeah, it's a big advantage.
Mike Harting and Candice Pretorius on a flyer there as well. This is the Aquatam boat, and just making your way through some slow traffic there. The Aquatam boat really has the pace.
Yeah, no, the pace was there, but it's not just the pace, like I said before. You got to combine that with a lot of other things, and whole shot being one of the most important things.
Murray Elliott and Daryl Brzeski, the Inconquezi boat, just going out of view there. That's as well Gerald Williams and the Seatronics boat. But Barry Marks and Tian Vermeulen here in for a nice big duel. And once again, Vermeulen looking for that clean water, crossing the wake. He wants to make sure that he's got that clean water ahead of him. Coming through the W. This is Denario now. They had some gearbox trouble in one of the earlier heats. Lost some points there, but now Lodewijks and Van Heestien looking to make up that lost time and pushing really, really hard.
Yeah, obviously he's trying to make up points, having broken down in the first heat.
But these two just couldn't put a foot wrong on Tati Projects. Michael Hutton and Candice Pretorius taking a win in the final of the City Lodge Modifieds on day one, while Upton and Knox had to settle for second place in that Sharwood Super Quick boat. Right now, time for us to have a look at another one of those driver profiles. This time round, all eyes on the Port Elizabeth Modified duo of Greg Upton and Brendan Knox competing in the Sharwood Super Quick boat.
We've been riding, I've been riding since 1989, started by coming to watch the guys race, and kind of got hooked onto it there, and been on and off for 20 years really. Really enjoyed the sport, a lot of fun. Yeah, we've been racing together for about 3.5 years. We really work well together. We've got a feel for the way we work as a team. He knows what he needs to do, and I know what I need to do, and we preempt each other's moves. It really worked well, the team gel. So it's a very important event from our side. We've got a lot of unfinished business at World Championships in 2007. We went into the championship, and at the point we were leading, and our boat got taken out. So we really wanted to do well at this event. And as far as being on our home water, it's a huge advantage for us because this is where we race all the time. So yeah, fantastic opportunity for us to actually succeed and do well.
Well, there you have a bit of background information on the Sharwood Super Quick team of Upton and Knox. We'll feature one or two other highlights